Drivers are trying to move carefully, but there's a guy in a yellow car that is driving like a maniac while recording it for social media. There's also a mysterious car with a cage driving a bit recklessly, and Cha has to move quickly to dodge. As the car passes next to them, Kyungmin sees a sad dog on its window. In another car, Dr. Yang is being transported to a lab by a couple of soldiers. The yellow car speeds up even more and almost crashes against another vehicle, so the driver makes it stop rather suddenly and the car ends up blocking part of the road. This forces the bus carrying Byung Hak and Sunak to also stop, managing to avoid hitting the fence at the last second. However, the other drivers aren't so lucky. A car crashes against the yellow one and this triggers a series of crashes that end up involving almost every vehicle on the bridge. Drivers try to dodge or stop to no avail, and some of them have to leave their cars before they could get killed. A huge truck comes next and tries to dodge the bus, which only causes it to fall on its side and start pushing the other cars together. People panic and run out of the car pile right before the truck stops. Soon a police car appears on the opposite lane only to end up crashing against a crane. Back in the gas station, Joe is being scolded by the station owner for losing the money. At that moment they hear on the radio the news about the bridge pileup and Joe deduces Cha must be stuck there, so he leaves in his truck with his dog Jody to look for him. On the bridge, Cha and Kyungmin are still moving on the opposite line and they watch the chaos nearby. The cage car goes ahead safely, but Yang's car gets a tire stuck on some debris and loses control, quickly crashing and flipping. A tire flies out and hits Cha's car, making it crash against the fence while another vehicle with soldiers crashes against the flipped truck, but the cage car stops just in time. The driver then checks the cage to make sure its contents are fine. Kyungmin thinks they should be helping people, however Cha tells her to stay in the car while he investigates. The soldiers have already rescued Yang, who keeps mentioning some dogs. While Cha stays with him, the soldiers run to check on the cage only to find it open and empty except for the body of the driver at the back. The captain immediately orders to jam all cell signals on the bridge. Back to Cha, he takes Yang to his car as he tries using his phone to call for help, but he loses signal and the same happens to all the other victims. He also notices Kyungmin is gone. The girl's currently following a weird noise and discovers a big dog called E9 hitting her head against the fence. Kyungmin tries offering her food to calm her down, but at that moment Cha arrives to protect his daughter and E9 runs away. The soldiers tell Yang that the dogs escaped so they must activate the control program. Yang activates a software in his laptop as the soldiers tell him a helicopter is coming, which is overheard by Cha. He thinks nobody should be flying in the fog and explains he works for the Department of Security before asking about the phone signal, but the soldiers just tell him to stay out of it. Cha protests and tries to steal a radio, so the soldiers handcuff him to the steering wheel. At that moment Joe arrives in his truck and sees the cop from before trying to direct the traffic away. Joe takes the chance to make some money by agreeing to tow the officer's car first. In the car, Yang finishes activating the program which shows a whole lineup of dogs. The soldiers put on extra protection as the dogs suddenly run back. They all have a chip in their heads that Yang's program controls, making them violent. The beasts are incredibly fast